I really think old timers will cringe that I'm doing that so carelessly it seems. Hi, Milton Chang of Bonsai Heirloom. I'll work on this juniper, which I planted for ground cover about 26 years ago when we built the home. But I dug it up maybe 15 years ago and put it in this pot. You can see this branch and this branch were about the same thickness, but over time, about 10 years in this pot, even in this bonsai pot, it grew quite a bit and filled out quite a bit. I must say this branch died off because in those days, I still believe in keeping the trees relatively dry. And the net result is that some of the branches died off. So I quit. I use soil that retains water and waters them a lot, and they seem to thrive. Now today, I want to show you how I can add a little bit of vignette in a sense of a feature that attracts your eye for you to ooh and ah to be a little different from the convention. So this tree, normally by Japanese standards, in a sense of bonsai standards, customary standards, is that this is the Miyogi style, which is the informal upright. Well, that's fine. I just happen to dig it out of the ground and make its natural shape to get this design. But you notice normally what this tree would be is like this is the front, this is the nice beautiful base, and then grow out, and then there's a back branch, and that's the Miyogi style. But looking at this, I say, why not turn this into the front? It's still the Miyogi style. It goes back and it comes back up. And then now you got a branch coming out this way and a branch out this way, and then a back branch that's there. That's getting less of attention, but that's fine. That's how much it deserves. But why don't I make this into a double trunk? In a sense, this one comes up and decide to have a mind of its own to make this into a tree. So now I'll be very differentiated. I will have a Miyogi style, a double trunk Miyogi style, which is not generally done, and make this the apex. And then these are the lower branches. And then this goes through the traditional lower branches. I've been clipping it to shape the branches, but then I always wind up too bare. There's no more branches. I mean, why am I worrying about the detail to start? I need to worry about the big pictures forming the paths. So what I'm doing now is to just very quickly form the paths, shape it using the poodle technique, and then later on when the paths are formed, then I go in and clip off the redundant branches to make it more like traditionally wired paths. And so that's what I'll do. So you will cringe that I'm going to create little brown spots here and there because I'm doing the clipping. But on the other hand, who cares? Because before very long, the brown spots will be overgrown with new growth that you'll never see it. And then I'll pinch it at the final, closer to the final stage. With that in mind, I can finish this tree in 10 minutes. So like this is growing very nicely. So I'll just do this. And I cut out the bottom branch. I think the old timer will cringe that I'm using clipper. And then I make this into a little dead branch. And then hopefully this will grow out. And the same here. And I don't really care what's going on underneath of it, but just to create the paths for now, and later on going to clean off the branches to simulate that I've done it by wiring. And that's speed up the process so very much. Not very good, but that's my path here. This branch will grow up to become the apex of the double trunk, right? So I want to peel this off to remind myself that's the apex, so I don't wind up clipping it off again. I almost did today just now. So this will be the apex for the double trunk. And then these, I just cut them in accordance to form the pad. I really think old timers will cringe that I'm doing that so carelessly it seems. But that's a speed process that I kind of figure out to be consistent with our busy life, and yet we want to keep bonsai. Okay, now I come to do these. Like you see, I use the anchor wire now. When I remove it, you can see it doesn't move much. You see, it totally stay put. So anchor wiring is very effective to simulate a branch as it gets old, it droops, and then it gives you the age look. The bottom needles you can just pull off quite easily, and this is too long, and maybe here will shoot out. And then this is going backwards, so I don't need that. I'd rather have this branch come out. When you cut, you have to cut straight, otherwise it won't cut right. Not quite right, but it will give me the opportunity, but in a very speedy way, get to the right way. Now this part, to be a little careful, this obviously, this part is dead, so I need an apex. Where should I find the apex? I think this part can very well become the apex. It would take a little while, or maybe this part, let me study this. So I will make this the apex someday, and then this comes down. So I'll make this the apex, and then these come down. And so I can bend this a little bit to have it go in the right direction. Do a haircut to do the poodling, and then later on I'll come in and do the careful pinching to make them into the pads that are desirable. Well, this is, I guess that's fine. I also leave this as an option to be the lower branch, but so I'm just keeping some options open and pinch out the bottom because that will never be used. This is a very rough pruning in a long time. And in about 6 months, I will show you this tree again and do the next level of refinement, which is likely to be based on pinching to get the pads without the brown spots. In summary, what I've done is I took a tree that I dug about 10 years ago, which has been growing in the ground for 15 years prior. I use it for designing purposes. And one thing is that there are a lot of rules. Like, for example, you will never think of a branch going this way. You bend it to be this angle. But this is what happened in nature. I didn't do it. Remember, don't always stick to the rules. So, for example, you never turn a skinny little branch and bend it this way to this. Actually, at least I don't like to do that because that's very unnatural. But on the other hand, this branch happened this way by nature. And when it get old, you kind of accept the fact that's what nature did and that's what it should be. So don't always follow the rules, but rather, does it look right? And in this case, by definition, this is more or less the informal upright, the Miyagi style. And you can see the amount of flow is everywhere. And that's the motion that gives you the feeling of movement that make you like the tree. The age make you accept the fact that's a reality. Now, I could just make this into pads and make it into another Miyagi style bonsai, but I want to create a little differentiation, a vignette, a design of my own, so that I can be proud of it and people will notice it when they see the tree. So I'm going to make this little apex grow into about this high to rhyme with this apex. So you can see this becomes more or less a mini double trunk, which is very rare in Miyagi style. And that becomes a very noticeable tree because it's different. And in some sense, when we do bonsai, we're trying to impress people with our design ideas. And those are the little vignettes you add to your bonsai to capture people's eyes to appreciate your design. So I think that's all I have to say today. This is all very impromptu. I hope you enjoy my video. Please click like to encourage me to do more. Subscribe to our channel, tell a friend, because we want to increase the Bonsai Heirloom community to share ideas. Send us your email address So with that in mind, I thank you very much. I hope you like this tree. I kind of changed the backside to the front side. That's it for this one, and I'll update this tree 6 months from now to show you what it looks like. I think you will like it. Thank you very much.